Hey Gear Seekers, I'm Nick. It took 8 months to arrive, but it's finally here, the HYTE Y60. But is the HYTE Y60 worth the hype? Let's find out together. Let's do a build thing. The thing is, this case took 8 months to arrive, and this case has been reviewed quite well over that 8-month period, and people have really nice things to say about the HYTE Y60. So what we're going to do, instead of going into all the details, because basically you can go to the product page and see a lot of that stuff, we're going to build in it. And I'm going to see if anything comes up that is weird while building in this. So you're going to come and build with me. So let's see if there's anything weird with this case while we build with it. All right, enough of the jibber jabber. Let's start pulling this thing apart. It's very similar to a lot of other cases that we've seen, mainly the 011 with these type of side panels and the layout and whatnot, but it does have a couple tricks up its sleeve that I've already noticed and I've seen by doing a little bit of due diligence and looking into what the deal is with this case here. And yes, this is the LTT screwdriver. Now, the third panel, the small panel, comes where there's 2 screws in the bottom, 2 in the top, and the panel pops out. All right, let's pop off the top panel. Basically, it's got like a little cutout here. You just push up with your thumb and it removes that top panel. There's also a bracket at the top, which is for the radiators and fans, which I'm going to remove as well. And essentially, it'll allow you to remove that bracket, and then you can put your fans and rad on this bracket, drop it back in, and Bob's your uncle. Underneath the case, there's this dust filter with 2 pre-installed fans, which I'm actually going to be removing because, come on, this is Gear Seekers, guys. We need the bling bling. Hopefully these aren't plugged into anything. They're not. I'm going with these SL Infinity Uni fans, and the only reason why I'm using these is I already had these out from tearing down a PC yesterday when we weren't filming. So I figured, you know what, while I've got them out, and I've got enough because the PC that they came out of had the same amount of fans. So we'll just use them while they're here. Oh, that's not how screwdrivers work, Nicholas. These fans on the bottom might be kind of pointless as well because we're not going to see them, but we might as well change them. Remove that rear fan because we're obviously going to swap that one out, but we'll put that one in a bit later because that's usually the order that I'll do stuff in, because the fan can get in the way when we're actually trying to do. Oh, there it goes. This case is primarily designed to use vertical GPUs, and they've actually got a pretty clever way of doing this with the Y60. It uses this half-height riser card, and it's got a bunch of half-height slots behind where your GPU would be located. So let's say you've got a 10 gigabit network card or whatnot. You can still install expansion cards if they're half height behind it, which is cool. And then you can still install your vertical GPU. But to install the motherboard, we actually need to remove the half height card, which is just like removing a regular old half height card out of a case anyway. HYTE actually said this case supports eATX board. So I thought, you know, what better way to test that than to actually use an eATX board. So we've got the X670E Aorus Extreme. This thing is absolutely huge. So let's put their claims to the test. There we go. Hey, yeah, it fits in no problem. It seems to be fine. I guess the real test will come is when we actually have to plug stuff in. The motherboard's in. Let's plug that riser card back in, just to show you guys how easy this is. And it just feels like I plugged a little GPU in. How cool is that? Let's get that power supply installed. Should be pretty easy. It is very easy. There's lots of room for activities with the power supply in this case. Time to install the side fans. I would recommend installing these as intake and not exhaust, so there's actually fresh air coming into the case. Makes sense, right? Fresh air in, hot air out the top. We're getting pretty close, ladies and gents. Let's chuck that rear fan in. Time for the moment of truth. Does our cooler go in? Does my plan all fall apart? Does it work? Does it work? And does this back fan spin? That's very tight. Okay, we're good. We are good. Always the most fun part of every build, applying thermal paste. All right, here we go. It's finally time to put the graphics card in, and we're going with the one and only Radeon RX 7900 XTX. We've got the reference card here. All right, we're in. Oh, this is looking good. Oh, this is looking really cool, guys. Wow, that's what's up. All right, cable management time, not gonna go too ham. Let's speed her up. Like any other glass fish tank, we need to visit our friends over at PCPartPicker. See what the deal is today. Oh, this is satisfying. I think they did this on purpose. I think that's a contender for peel of the year. That is the best feeling peel ever. Sounds so wrong. All right, ladies and gents, you know what time it is. All right, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the build in the HYTE Y60, but let's take a look at the thermals of this system. What you're seeing on your screen right now is the thermals are actually not too bad. Be aware though, the 7900 XTX reference edition runs quite warm for that memory temperature, but it is what it is, and I mean, it's hotter than our actual review as well. It actually got quite a bit hotter, which I thought was weird, but anyway, the actual overall thermal performance of the Y60 is really, really good. So good work, HYTE. Better than I expected it to be. I'll put a PC part picker list down below in the description if you want to know what all the parts are for this build, but there would have been little things on the screen at those points in the video talking about what everything was. Well, not talking about, but you know, you get it, right? It's got little cards that say what everything is. Anyway, how about the Y60? Well, to build in, as you probably saw following along with me, it was really easy to build in. I actually hate to admit it, but I kind of liked building in this. It was very, very easy. There are a few things that I didn't show in that part of the video that actually might be a problem if you're building in the Y60. The first thing is your top radiator. Now, if you've got thick EPS power cables to go into the top of your motherboard and you're doing a 360mm rad like we did here, you might run into the problem of the EPS power cables actually hitting the fans and you not being able to use those properly. Now, if you use a smaller radiator, you're not going to run into this problem, especially if it's a 240, because you can push it out towards the edge of that top bracket. But with the 360, you do need to take that into account. But other than that one little thing that I noticed, the case is pretty spot on. And I'm going to say it, this is one of the best constructed cases that we've had through in a long time. And I'm going to be honest with you, I really wanted to dislike this case. Really wanted to dislike it. And I just can't really fault it. There's a few things that I personally don't like with cases like this. I don't like how wide they are. They take up too much space on a desk. Now, if I do have to make a couple comments, the case is probably not wide enough. Now, what do I mean by that? If you're looking at installing a 40 series GPU with like a triple slot cooler or more than a triple slot cooler, you're just not going to be able to do it in this case, mainly because it's going to either hit the glass on the side or it's going to hit this angled panel here. So take that into account. If you're doing a card like this 7900 XTX reference card, you're going to be fine. Most 30 series cards you should be okay, but also be aware that anything thicker than this, you're going to be starving the GPU for air. Even if you have fans underneath it for intake, you will be starving the GPU. But other than that, good job, HYTE. With saying that, the form factor isn't my cup of tea, but it's not always about what I like. It's about what you guys like too. And I am fairly certain that a lot of you will like the Y60. It took 8 months. It annoyed me that it took so long to come. I really wanted to hate it, but I just can't. Now, if you're interested in the HYTE Y60, hello Bindi. They're going for around 199 US dollars or around 299 Aussie dollars at the time of filming. And if I'm being honest here, this is a very expensive case, but the build quality somewhat justifies the price. It is a very well put together case. That's just about going to do it for me. But if you like the music you heard here, you can get it by clicking that join button right down there. Down below, we've also got a 4-hour mix of like everything on the channel you can listen to for free. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do yourself a big old favor and hit the subscribe button. Once again, thank you so very much for watching. I'm your boy Nick with Gear Seekers. You peek, we seek, and we tried to get Bindi on top of the case here. Bindi, look at just a random paw. Spotty dog. Oh no, it's a Bindi. Oh, that's cute. Be cute.